Sup, book club? I want to share this quote with you from theoretical physicist Max Planck. A new scientific truth does not triumph by convincing its opponents and making them see the light, but rather because its opponents eventually die, and a new generation grows up that is familiar with it. Yeah, that's right, Max Planck. TLDR version, a new idea will not come to prominence right away. For instance, it's why your grandmother always tells you that no man will marry you because you have tattoos. New ideas can be hard to stomach when they're put up against something you've always believed in. Visible tattoos were considered a social stigma in the early part of the 20th century, but that doesn't mean that they're taboo now. In fact, 40% of American millennials have a tattoo. I think you can see all of mine when I do this. But how long does it take to change an idea? Probably a little while. In our latest book club book, The Emperor of Scent by Chandler Burr, we follow Luca Turin, an eccentric and passionate biochemist who has just developed a new theory of scent. His theory alleges that rather than odor molecules binding with olfactory receptors based on their shape, they bind based on vibrational frequency. It's actually a really interesting theory that he developed while working for major perfume houses, but the science community is kind of like, well, I kind of like this theory we've got going. Why don't we just stick with it? As a result, major smell scientists are pretty much just unwilling to read Turin's paper on the subject. And well, the Turin painted by Burr is something of a rebel. He is loud and exuberant, messy, and unconventional. Luca Turin is not your typical science hero, failing to embody the geeky, antisocial science stereotype. Yet, he embodies characteristics of a good scientist as well, like skepticism, where he's willing to examine whether or not he's right, receptivity, where he's open to other ideas, and he also has a drive to just always be improving. His theory may be revolutionary, but on the other hand, it may fail to stand up to scientific fact. Either way, it's valid to investigate, but it's the hurdle of pushing a new idea out in the faces of the established norm where we get back into the problem of time. Turin is not the first scientist to deal with backlash. Max Planck himself helped develop a theory that helped propel classical physics into quantum physics, but it took 18 years to come to prominence. Let's not forget Galileo, who in 1633 was forced to recant his theory of heliocentrism, that is, the Earth revolving around the sun, by the Roman Catholic Inquisition, and then was forced to go into house arrest until he died. And he wasn't given a pardon by the church until 1992. Say what? Perhaps most famously, there's Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution, which was published in his Origin of Species in 1859. Yet, it's still contested today. I think that there's a big lesson here. With time and major science thinkers, especially Luca Turin, whose infectious insistence that his theory is right is super inspiring. Despite the burden of time, keep fighting for your good ideas. Of course, make sure they're logical and decent, skeptical and receptive, but if you do this, you scientists or activists or artists or whomever will get what you deserve. So what are we reading next, you ask? Oh, just a little inquiry into whether or not social media is turning us into crazy weirdos. The Village Effect by Susan Pinker. Is it showing up? It should be fascinating. Oh, hello there, commenters. In response to my last video, Should You Trust Your Doctor? Mongolsky Mongol said, "I'm sorry for being white. I will try to be born better next time." Why not just be better right now? Slizzy1 said, "Guys, doctors are people too. Cut them some slack." I agree. Doctors are great individually. It's major pharmaceutical companies that actually don't need to be cut slack because they're not people. Jess's grandma said, "What's up with that feather tattoo? You're never gonna get a husband." Wait, what? Grandma, are you watching my YouTube videos? Did you figure out how to use Google? Suck it. As always, you can follow me on social media. My Twitter is Jisker. And to do a Greg and Mitch impression, peace.